The idea that the selection for buyers who want small cars in the United States is shrinking day by day, also known as the small car extinction, is not a new, brand new, revolutionary idea. Car news outlets and car YouTube channels like this one have been covering this topic for a while now, about a few months. I've actually made 2 videos about it. Don't go back and watch them, they're terrible. But I'm here to break you the bad news. It's getting worse, and it can only get worse from here, and we need to fight to save the small car. But first, we can't build upon an idea if you have no idea what we're talking about. So let me give you a quick example of exactly how the selection for small cars in the United States is declining. Here is the selection of small cars in the United States in 2018. Now, I'm just going to quickly say all the names just in case, you want to recognize them. The Chevrolet Sonic, the Toyota Prius C, which I'm counting, the Toyota Yaris, the Chevrolet Spark, the Nissan Versa and the Versa Note, the Toyota Yaris IA, the Hyundai Ascent, the Honda Fit, the Mitsubishi Mirage, and the Kia Rio. I just listed all those without putting the pictures on the screen because that's really stupid and I didn't even write down a list. Aren't you impressed? But there's a good variety here. There's hatchbacks, there's sedans, there's even a Mazda dressed up as a Toyota. With the Prius C, you could even get an ultra-efficient hybrid if you wanted to. With the Fit, you could get one with a little bit more room. If you want something cheap, you could get the Rio or the Mirage. If you wanted something a little bit more upscale, you could get the higher trim levels of the Prius C, or you could always go for the much nicer Hyundai Ascent. Now, back when I made that video, the big issue was mainly the decline from 2018 to 2022. So these are the car selection for 2018. Let's move forward 4 years to 2022 and see what it's like then. Sorry, I also forgot that the Ford Fiesta existed, but it's kind of its fault for being so forgettable. Just to clarify, not hating on the Ford Fiesta, still a great car. We've lost a lot of good men, and this is when people started ringing the alarm bells, like, hey, small cars aren't selling well. It was mainly the numbers that were concerning, not the discontinuation of the Honda Fit, the Chevrolet Sonic, and a few other small cars. But we still did lose a lot of good men in that 4 years, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. We got rid of the Kia Rio, we got rid of the Hyundai Ascent, the Chevy Spark was gone, and then they came out with the Bolt and fine. Then they got rid of the Yaris and the Yaris IA, which just became the Yaris sedan, and this year, in the end of 2024, well, last year, they're getting rid of the Mitsubishi Mirage. All of these cars on the screen right now in 2025, I cannot buy them. They're dead. All of them. Every single one. But believe it or not, this actually was not a huge issue. But to understand why, we need to go over to our good friend, Australia. This is a Suzuki Ignis. It's your classic example of a small Japanese car, the same genre of cars that are currently struggling and currently non-existent here in the United States. In 2017, when it was launched, the sales numbers were strong, but they kept declining steadily until 2019 due to the rise of SUVs and the rise of cheap SUVs. So Suzuki gave it a facelift. All of a sudden, the sales numbers rebounded, and they were planning to cancel it later that year, but after the facelift, they kept it for a whole another 4 years till 2024. Can you guess what the facelift look like? Yeah, that's right. All they did was take the Ignis, add some loops to the front of it, put a little bar underneath, and because of that facelift, because it looked more like an SUV, because people thought of it more as like a small little adventurous SUV, and that's the way that they marketed it, the sales were able to jump up, and they were able to save the Ignis. That's what was happening in the United States, basically. If you want a more Americano flavor of this example, look at the Prius C. First, when it launched in 2012, they tried just your average hatchback look. It had a little bit of sass, but not that much. Toyota then realized that small cars were going extinct, and if the Prius wanted to stay around, they needed to make it hot, flashy, with the deaths of the Prius family. So I believe it was either 2014 or 2015. I'm sorry, people that own this Prius. I'm sure it's a lovely car. They made literally the ugliest Prius in the entire lineup, in my opinion. The red one there. The sporty update, they gave it, wider cheeks, just a different facial structure to make it look more aggressive. That worked for a few years. And then, in 2017, they realized, hey, people don't want this anymore. This is done. And for 2018, you know what they did? They made it look more like an SUV. The car industry knows the trends that are going on. I mean, of course they do. They're the ones that are setting the trends. So you can see how the evolution went from the 2010s, your average hatchback, think like Volkswagen Golf, to the I'm a super sporty mean face and I hate everyone of the mid-2010s. And then the late 2020s where everything's, it's got to be an SUV, it's got to be an SUV, it's got to be an SUV. And you want to know what? It worked. They kept it around for an extra 3 years as an SUV. When they were planning to kill it off, they killed off the Prius C with the rebadged, with the second facelift in several other regions. But in the United States, the SUV stuck, and they kept it until 2019, which is crazy considering that the Prius V got discontinued in 2017, 2016. That's early. Now, I picked the Prius C as the example for the United States because it's probably the least convincing. It's like two kids in a trench coat trying to go into an R-rated movie. You can really tell it's not an SUV. I mean, they nearly fooled me, but I used the power of common sense and name recognition to know that this was not a true SUV. This was never really going to fool anyone into thinking that this was some sort of really official SUV. But these could. Okay, I have so much to say. First of all, they're essentially just Ford Fiestas, like the Ford EcoSport. It's the same platform as the Ford Fiesta, it's just wearing armor. The Nissan Kicks is just a Nissan Versa with armor. The Chevrolet Trax and Encore are a little bit different, but they're essentially the same size as the Sonic, not the Spark, but more closer to the Sonic that they replaced. They're very closely related. The Toyota CHR and Honda HR-V kind of get a pass, but we know why Toyota and Honda had to create those vehicles. Because they were getting rid of the Fit, the Prius C, the Yaris, and the Yaris IA. Right? They were getting rid of those cars, so they needed, a jump step. And then the Trailblazer is essentially just like a Sonic, but with bigger wheels. It's ridiculous. Anyway, here's the part that's really gonna freak you out. The Chevrolet Trailblazer and the Ford, again, I can't believe this. It's like, it's a joke. Literally the only two examples of America, like American cars, aside from the Trax and the Encore, just ignore those, have 3-cylinder engines. The Ford EcoSport has a 1-liter 3-cylinder engine. I can get a tractor, not even a tractor, I can get a zero-turn lawnmower, I could get the bad boy Rogue 61-inch FX1000V, and that has a 1-liter engine. The same size as this Ford EcoSport. The Ford EcoSport, the base model with a 3-cylinder 1-liter, had a 0 to 60 time of 10.6 seconds. And get this, people always make fun of the Prius for being slow. The Prius had a 1.5-liter, the Prius C, by the way, not the regular Prius, the Prius C, the small one, had a inline-4 Atkinson cycle 1.5-liter engine. The Prius C had a bigger engine than the Ford EcoSport. The Prius C was, in fact, not an SUV. It didn't catch the wind as much. It was much more aerodynamic, and it had a hybrid system. The EcoSport doesn't have a hybrid system. I'm surprised they're not counting it in cc's. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like a Fiat Niki. I mean, what is it, 36 horsepower? I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, granted, they strapped turbos and crap to it, and the Trailblazer at least had a 1.2 or a 1.3 liter, which I can't even believe I'm saying is like a good option, because it's still totally crap, but at least it's not Ford. I mean, it's ridiculous. They have no power, they're useless, and they're just... and the Nissan Kicks and the Ford EcoSport, they have 4 lug nuts. They're an SUV. I mean, it just shows how little people actually care about things. The 4 lug nuts for me is more of a stylistic thing. I just think they look hideous with every single wheel. Like, every time I see that, I see, like, the Chevy Cobalt, like Dodge Intrepid, like those just crappy 2000s crap cars. I think the Dodge Intrepid even had 5 lug nuts. They just look bad. But seriously, on an SUV, you're not even going to put 5 lug nuts to appease the buyers? Because I'm sure you noticed, too, 5 is much prettier than 4 on wheels, in my opinion. I mean, and that's just a stylistic choice. They just look ugly. They're big. They've got big gaping grills. They're all bottom breathers. They sniff from the bottom. The big grills don't actually do anything. I mean, guys, are we really going to be fooled by this? Are we really going to buy these things? And you want to know, in 2022, me and the rest of the car people and the car news channels shut up and put up with it. Why? Well, because we had these, right? It wasn't like the Ford Fiesta fell off a cliff and never is coming back again, right? We had these SUV alternatives, which were essentially just the Ford Fiesta Sport, right? Granted, some cars like the Mitsubishi Mirage and others never really got an SUV-ified version. I mean, sure, you have the, ASX Cross or whatever it's called, or the Outlander Sport, but those aren't real alternatives. But now, believe it or not, even these are going extinct. The Ford EcoSport is being discontinued. The Chevrolet, the Encore, the past generation Encore GX and the Chevrolet Trax have both been discontinued now. Now you have like a new Encore GX, which is way bigger. It's ridiculous. These are the comparisons between the Ford EcoShit and the little Ford Fiesta. Look at the size difference. Look at the tail lights. There's barely any difference. If I showed you these two and I painted them both the same color and I lifted the Ford Fiesta, you wouldn't be able to tell me which one it is. This is the Chevy Bolt next to the new Chevrolet Trailblazer. I can maybe see like an inch of the Chevrolet Trailblazer behind the Bolt. Now people say the Bolt is on the same platform as the Sonic and the Spark. It's essentially just a Chevrolet Sonic with a hole cut out the bottom of it for the batteries, alright? It's not like a new platform thing, right? This is ridiculous. I mean, it's bad enough that they suck. It's bad enough that they have small engines. And it's bad enough that they're essentially just shit light of these cars that we already had. But what's even worse is, like I said previously, they're being discontinued. When I first saw these line of articles, this happening, the EcoSport, the CHR, and I'll get into the Edge and the EcoSport, the Escape, the EcoSport Heavy, or whatever, later, I genuinely thought to myself, am I having a stroke? I mean, are you kidding me? Can we not hold it together? They discontinued the CHR, they got the Corolla Cross, which is fine. The Ford EcoSport dying, really, Ford? You're just gonna kill the Fiesta off like that with no alternative? And then the part that really made me question if I was having a stroke, or if I Donnie Darko'd it, I think that was the movie, and a plane engine fell in my house when I was sleeping and killed me, and I'm, Beetlejuice, I drove my Volvo off of the bridge, and now I'm living in hell world with the sandworms outside my door. I'm like, discontinuation of Ford Edge and the Ford Escape to build its new cheap EV, the Ford Model T EV or whatever. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Ford made the F-150 Lightning and promised everyone the Ford F-150 Lightning is great, it's fantastic. People hate that thing. There was a guy that went around and he reviewed it and drove and see if he could tow it. It sucked. It couldn't tow. It was terrible. He hated it. And I mean, it wasn't that it was a bad car. It's that it couldn't do anything. Are you kidding me? Can we really not figure this out? How much we have some of the most brilliant minds in the world in Detroit. We have, I don't know about that. We used to. We have intelligent people down there, and we can't figure this out. We can't hold it together. We just stopped trying. We converted the Ford Fiesta into the EcoSport, and then the EcoSport didn't work. We just killed it off. We didn't even try anything else. We came up with this stupid EV idea, which the EV is the worst idea, the only idea that the car industry has had in the past 10 years that isn't what if it's an SUV? And that's the entire idea. And I get why they're going into it, but really, you're killing off two of your best-selling models to make this stupid EV, which, by the way, I think I can speak for all of us when I say no one wants this. So that's the video. The small car extinction is growing. The cars that replace the small cars and cause the small car extinction are also going extinct. We're going to have no cars left. It's just going to be one big wrath. The minivans are dying. Everything's dying. The world's screwed. I mean, I'm not even being political. I mean, the entire car industry is screwed. It's bad. Have you seen the numbers? Look up the numbers, the sales numbers for Detroit, the Chrysler, all those numbers, Stellantis. I hate Stellantis with a burning passion. Look up all their sales numbers. They're dropping like a rock. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't even believe it. I'm still questioning, seriously, did I die? Is my life flashing before my eyes and it's just making stuff up because there's too much time left, Am I going to wake up in the hospital with an ER lady staring into my eyes in 20 seconds? It's driving me nuts. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching today. Leave your comments in the comments. I want to know what you think. You are the most important to me, and you should be the most important to Detroit and the entire, not just American car companies, all car companies. Because believe it or not, it's not the Ford execs that buy one Lincoln Continental and then never buy another car, or, their service department handles it. Cars should not be made for the car companies or what the car companies think they should do. It should be by the consumer. What do you want? What features would you like to see in cars? What small car? Do you want more hybrid small cars? Do you want more weird small cars? Do you want convertible, small hybrid, diesel, triple turbo cars? I don't know. Let me know what you want in the comments. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And the video quality is going up, guys. We can only go up from here. So thank you for sticking around, and I appreciate all the support that I have received.